right, good morning and welcome back to our 6th year of coverage from WEFTEC. I'm your host, Todd Schnick. I don't know what I'm more excited about. Here in New Orleans on this Monday in September of 2016, got the big presidential debate tonight, got Monday Night Football. But you're in for a real treat because I'm joined by my friend and colleague, Travis Kennedy.
You know, I got to tell you, I agree with you, Todd. There's a lot going on tonight. But more importantly, there's a lot going on today. We're kicking it off in style.
We are, in fact. Very exciting day for Water Online Radio. It's our first ever Lagoon specialist on the air.
Unprecedented. When I saw this on the schedule coming up this morning, I thought to myself, gosh, we've never had this before. This is groundbreaking radio.
Absolutely. Game changing. Let's get to it. We're joined by Patrick Hill, a Lagoon specialist with Triple Point Environmental. Patrick, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Todd.
Well, it's good to have you. Thanks for stopping by and joining us. I know you're awfully busy here as we kick off day one of WEFTEC, so appreciate you stopping by. Before we get into our conversation, Patrick, take a few quick seconds, tell us a bit about you, your background, and then give us that quick overview of Triple Point. What are you guys doing? How you serving your market?
Sure. I've been working for Triple Point for 10 years. Actually, my first job out of college was one of the first employees of Triple Point Environmental.
Oh, darn.
And we focus on servicing wastewater lagoon systems, which are generally found in more rural communities, small towns, 5,000 people or less type communities. And we do lots of different things. We do aeration, we do nutrient removal, and help with expansions and upgrades, things like that.
Got it. All right. So lagoon systems, you mentioned, we mentioned that you are a lagoon specialist, so a lot of big challenges with lagoon systems. What is Triple Point doing to tackle those?
There's three main challenges that we run into. You've got, first of all, aging infrastructure. We all know that, a lot of our wastewater equipment is old and just needs to be upgraded and replaced, and we can do that by providing more efficient systems. Number two is the compliance. The EPA is coming in and providing new limits for ammonia or total nitrogen or phosphorus on the discharge, which these lagoon plants were never originally designed to deal with. So that's a really, really big and growing part of our business. We're seeing more and more projects that are around compliance. And then the third one would be expansion. The town's getting bigger. They need to add capacity. We have several systems that can help them do that depending on what they're looking to do.
Very cool.
When you think aging infrastructure, historically people think pipes, distribution, things like that. But one of the things that really needs to be considered is just the age of the systems within the plant itself.
Right.
So going off of that, I was just kind of curious, how can your lagoon systems, Triple Point's lagoon systems, help municipalities become more efficient?
Well, we believe that Lagoons do it better. So what we're trying to do is to upgrade it in place without having to necessarily even take the whole system offline. So we come in, put our equipment in. We have an aeration system, which is probably the number one for this. It's 60% more efficient than older technologies from an energy point of view. It's totally portable and modular. So you can literally come in and drop it into the lagoon, turn the air on, and you've got yourself a 60% more efficient system that's completely replaced what you had before.
60% is a big number.
That's a big number. That gets my attention. I mean, I imagine that aging infrastructure, is that the biggest challenge you face or the biggest opportunity to serve a marketplace?
Well, there's actually a confluence of factors going on. You've got the aging infrastructure piece, but then you've got this compliance piece. So you've got the EPA coming in and saying, hey, you guys got to meet an ammonia limit. And for these small towns, they're never designed to do that. So you're getting projects where we're both rehabilitating the equipment and adding equipment in order to meet that ammonia compliance requirement, for example.
All right. Well, you mentioned ammonia. Let's talk about that. I mean, how does Triple Point help lagoons meet that limit?
So we have our Nightrock system. Basically what we do is we utilize the lagoon infrastructure up front to remove primary BOD. Right, you can't really nitrify until you get your BODs down to 30 milligrams per liter or so. So we say, look, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. If you need to replace aeration, we can replace aeration in there, but we don't need to go to a mechanical plant in order to get rid of ammonia. So then we add our system at the back, and what it does is it just nitrifies. It creates an environment where you get nitrifying bacteria that grow inside of our reactor. It's actually a separate tank. And it can rapidly nitrify at very cold water temperatures once you build up that bacteria growth in there. So from there, then you just go out. So it's really just an adder to their existing system, and it's almost as easy to operate as their existing system, which is really important in our space because, these lagoon operators in these small towns also are the dog catcher, and they're mowing the parks, and they're doing all this stuff. They can't afford to be holding the hand of the lagoon system all day long. They need simple stuff that's going to work, and that's what we really focus on.
the simplicity is really kind of the beauty of it, because it's an add-on for the most part, right? It's not very invasive for them, so it doesn't require them to put a lot of time, attention, and more importantly, money into making such a drastic change. So I noticed on your lanyard here, for those of you listening on the radio, you can't see it, but take my word for it, there is a slogan that we have called Lagoons Do It Better. I was wondering if you could expand upon that, let the listeners know a little bit about what that means.
Well, for us, you know, we really feel like for the small communities that operate lagoons, lagoons are the best solution. They're very simple to operate. There's not a lot of components and equipment in comparison to a mechanical plant. And they're very reliable. And at the end of the day, if you design a lagoon correctly, it's our belief, if you design it correctly, you operate it correctly, which isn't hard to do if you design the right equipment up front, you can actually get better effluent out of a lagoon system than you can in any mechanical system in the country. So our role, what our focus is to help lagoons do it better. You know, and we do that by, we have education, you know, we're doing this campaign over the next 12 months. We're going to do trainings in several different states where we're going to bring in an expert speaker to talk about lagoon topics. We have a blog on our website that we've been writing for the last 3-4 years, where we just, you know, any questions people have, like how do we solve a lagoon algae problem? What's going on? You know, how do we optimize pathogen removal in a lagoon? Well, there's answers to those questions, and we're experts, so we can answer them. We're also working on video blogs. And we're also going to start a Facebook group just so that we can connect operators with operators, you know, so that operators can help themselves, and then we can always pitch in our piece too.
So the education understanding is out there. You just people have to look for it. I mean, how difficult is that transition from a mechanical system to a lagoon system? I mean, I understand the simplicity of what you do, and that's why you should have a lagoon system. But what if you want to transition from a mechanical one? Is that how difficult is that?
That's rarely done, because once you make that investment in that mechanical plan, it tends to be too much. But what you do see, and the conventional wisdom has always been, well, these lagoons are going to go away. You know, they can't do nutrient removal, the new limits are coming down for that, and we just got to get rid of them, kind of thing. And you're going from an order of magnitude of complexity, both from a operation cost point of view and a operations point of view, of like 10 times. You know, so often you get these mechanical plants. Sometimes engineers will come in, they'll design the system, they'll replace the lagoon, and then about, you know, a year later, they regret that decision immediately, because they're like, this operator can't operate this right. You know, it takes a lot more time, attention, and expertise to operate a mechanical plant relative to the lagoon, which is the simplest system to operate on the market.
Yeah.